All right, what's up, everybody? I am doing a special impact podcast with Rene Rodriguez, the one and only. I can't believe how long it's been, Rene, since we had
So
our last
long, man.
conversation like this.
It's been so long. And both of us, I think, probably lost 100 and 200 pounds between us since the last time,
I don't
too.
know. I think I have stalled out on my optimization, my weight optimization,
You
but
look
I'm
great, dude.
ready to get
You
back
look
at it.
great. It's not, it's part of the process, man. You just keep going. What's happening is just changes are happening internally. They may not be visually seen, but I
Yeah,
promise you it's happening. You look fantastic and your energy's great.
thank you. Appreciate it, man. No, I feel fantastic. I've keeping a lot of my protocols, but I lost 38 pounds last year, and I have not kept that momentum this year, but I haven't gone backwards either. So it's all good.
Good for you. That's a win.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this conversation. We're the working headline. We'll see what it's hit when it hits the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel
Yeah.
is how your humanity matters more than ever. Uh, I know that you have spoken at a commencement speech this year,
Mhm.
which is quite a responsibility, speaking to young people coming into the workforce, or I think it was an MBA program. So people coming into the workforce strong. And then I know you've also got a lot of passion on how do we future proof ourselves as leaders. Our community is loan officers and leaders of loan officers. So give me some of your thoughts this year. We're middle of 2025. Actually, we're September of
Yeah.
2025. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm going back to the first time I called you up. I'm like, dude, have you heard of this thing called Chat GPT? You're like, what? I'm like, I'm going to show you, but you can't show anybody yet because this is too cool and too crazy. And then where we are today and what you're doing with it, you've already incorporated it into your businesses. You've done like all of this stuff, and I'm trying to figure it out. We're all trying to figure it out. And I think the first idea, and I wrote this article on my LinkedIn, and I said, because one of the biggest frustrations I have when it comes to AI is that it needs to be an innovative, collaborative conversation, not check the box. Yes, I do it as well. And I think ask yourself how many times you've been like, oh, yeah, so I'm using AI for this, and you get the immediate response, yeah, I use AI too. And it's like, okay, like the article title says, stop saying I use AI too. You're killing innovation because what it should be is, yeah, I use AI. Awesome. How are you using it? Because now there's only a few experts out there with AI. Just like in the beginning of social media gurus, it's still new. It should be like I may have a long time with it, but I don't know how you're using it because the limit is our imagination. And so the question should be, okay, well, what are you doing with it? Well, what are you doing with it? And all of a sudden we're stacking these innovative ideas on top of each other, not like, oh, I use AI. Yeah, so do I. And it's done. There's no conversation. There's no like, yeah, I breathe as well. I use oxygen. Like, so what? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's the innovative conversation is the one that needs to happen, and I think we need to remove that vocabulary and start collaborating because somebody that's brand new with AI is probably doing something you're not doing with it. I learn from brand new people all the time. I'm like, I never thought about that. My clients that pay me six figures to help them are showing, here's what I did today. I'm like, oh my God, I should be paying you like for what you just showed me here. And so I think that's the initial mindset going into this conversation that I would love people to adopt is that it's this collaborative, how are you using it? And that to me is where innovation really begins.
Yeah, I've done a number of conversations where I'm like, it's all around how to talk to AI because I have found not only in my own personal growth with AI from where I started to where I thought like, hey, I'm getting pretty good. And then realizing that, you know what, being able to talk to AI more fluently,
Yeah.
more valuable, in a more valuable way, it's like it's a big deal. And so the title of the conversation right now is how your humanity more matters more than ever right now. Like, why does your humanity matter more than ever right now? What's your take on that?
So yeah, so the idea for me came when I was asked, actually 2.5 years ago, I was asked to do the commencement speech for the University of Iowa MBA, executive MBA program that was out of Italy, Cimba, CIMBA. This is like very high level executive MBA. I'm talking about, CEOs and presidents of multi-billion dollar organizations. And so they're a partner of ours in terms of Amplify in Europe. And he's like, I want you to do the commencement speech. And I'm like, I was told not to even, I shouldn't even be in college, right? So one, it was kind of a cool thing, but I didn't think it was going to happen. And of course, this last year, he's like, yeah, it's on July, 12th or whatever the date was in Iowa. And I'm going, oh my God, I actually have to deliver this thing. And I remember the week before, I'm talking to the president. I'm going, what, what, what should the topic be? And we talked, and he kind of mentioned a bunch of other stuff, and I went there the night before and I talked to a lot of them. And the resounding message was, and it's just actually the week before, was this is a group of kids and adults graduating into a world of AI. So we say that so often that I think we dismiss the reality of it, meaning that they've been told up in their entire life that accumulate credentials, gain knowledge, and put it all together, and you're going to spend years learning it. But now I can do it in less than an hour. Everything you know in an hour, less maybe. Even just do I ask the right question? And they're thinking, did I just waste all this money? And the answer is, of course, they did not. There's more to it. But I wanted to address the fear. I wanted to address this overwhelm of, am I going to keep up with it? And so what dawned on me was, how do you become irreplaceable in a world of artificial intelligence? And what's irreplaceable is our humanity. There's something really magical about that. And then we had to dissect it. And I think I played for you the final 2 minutes of it, final 3 minutes of it, which goes through sort of a dismantling of the word artificial. It means fake. It means to be, to not real. And, who here wants artificial love? Who here wants artificial sacrifice, artificial apologies, artificial empathy, artificial wisdom? And I went through this whole list of stuff. And even as I was writing, I got very emotional because it was like, yeah, nobody wants that artificial. Yet it's readily available. You can chat GPT anything you want. You can Claude anything. You can Gronk, whatever your platform of choice is. But like, there's this irreplaceable side of AI that I like. I want to keep the HI, the human intelligence, the humanness to it. And you and I both know that we all have access to it, but prompt engineering, your ability to think, is where the real advantage comes into play. And this also was inspired when I was in Saudi Arabia, because I was in Saudi Arabia speaking at the Human Capital Initiative conference, 12,000 people in the palace. And I'm in the green room, which is one of the nicest places I've ever been in my life. And I'm sitting down, and a couple of people came up to me and said they follow me on LinkedIn. And I was like, cool. I was like, what do you do? I was like, well, we run AI for this big organization. I'm like, I go, okay. I go, how are you using AI? That was my question. Here they're coming to me thinking that I'm cool. And they start talking. And the moment they start talking, I'm going, I'm a child with AI compared to what they're doing. And this was last year. They're talking about agentive AI, which is the agents, and creating all of that stuff, and the use of water and the need for land and all of it. I'm going, oh my Lord. Saudi Arabia is spending over $1 trillion in the next 9 years just on tech. Promise you, a lot of that's AI. Yeah, and you know that around 80% of Saudi Arabia population is under the age of 34.
Wow.
What we understand, yeah, what we understand about them is not what we're learning. One of their main initiatives is female employment. I mean, they went from zero to over 35% female employment. And one of the CEOs of this whole initiative is saying, we just unlocked 50% of our human capital, just like that. He goes, we're just getting started. And it's like, okay, we need to get beyond writing, poems and jokes and, responding to emails. There's so much more innovation available to start thinking about it. And I just think we need a collaboration.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I told you about this when we talked last, the book I'm writing called Know Your Code. And a term that keeps coming up in my mind when I think of the era that we're in right now is self-optimization. So we as human beings need to be our best self. Some of that has to do with how we started this conversation,
Yeah.
physical self. Some of that has to do with how we live our values. The book I'm writing is like how well we document our code. Like when I first started
Mm,
writing the book, Know Your Code, it was really, as you know, Renee, I mean, it was a legacy play. I wanted to document my values, my principles, AKA my code, in a way to hand that off to my kids. But what I found in that process is I got a lot of personal value from that. And then
yep.
now that, we're in this world of AI, some of the breakthroughs I've had in using AI is, I think a lot of people in marketing call that your brand book, or I don't know what the term is, but
Your
you train
ethos.
your ethos. Okay, you call it your
Oh,
ethos,
no, your knowledge base. Your knowledge base.
your knowledge base. You put that into AI, and I've done that to a certain extent, and I like boom, oh my God, AI is delivering a better result for me. But then I
100%.
also had another boost by taking my code and putting that into AI. So I just think there's this, like when I saw the title and the conversation you wanted to have, your humanity more matters more than ever, and your ability to document who you are as a
Yep.
human, your ability to partner with AI to
Yes.
just make everything better and more efficient. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Oh, couldn't agree with you more. And that's where the real competitive advantage, because when your code, you're talking about your fingerprint of who Dave Savage is, who Rene is. It's unique only to you. And there's so many uniquenesses to it. 8 years ago, we started our brand journey in terms of creating ours. And I spent uncalculable amounts of money on investing in copywriters to help me draft what we call our ethos. And we looked at all of those documents and that process of, and Amplify is writing your story, which is part of, out of that comes, the Savage Code and, those things that really figure out who it is that you are. And our beginning of our brand process goes through an extensive interview to extract all of that and then to reproduce a brand narrative. And from that comes manifestos, comes frameworks, comes all of those things. And then that process goes into their AI knowledge base, whether it's a GPT and ChatGPT, whether it's a project within Claude, project within there. And now all of a sudden you work within that project and it knows who you are. Like all my projects have read my book. They understand my social media strategies. They understand the formulas in which we calculate things. They understand my brand ethos, the narrative. They understand who I am. And every time I create an article, it goes back inside of that. And it's just constantly thinking. And you realize that there are certain patterns by how we think. There's an essence of who we are. And your ability, I love how you articulate that, to document who you are and then collaborate with artificial intelligence to come up with and fill in the gaps of skill. Like, you may not be a good writer, you don't need to be. Like the Bible was written with pseudopictographers. There were scholars that understood writing, but a lot of the prophets were illiterate. And so they had to tell another person to, hey, tick, 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 help me, do this. Help me write this in some sort of code, which was a language back then. So assisted writing is not new, it's not cheating, but when it's collaborative and we're taking this rich knowledge of whoever this individual's code is, which I love the book, I love what you're doing with this, because it needs to be written. We all need that. And then you're taking that next level to say, document it, and then now collaborate with AI. That's where things really take on. And I was going to tell you, one of the things I was going to do is I want to run you through that ethos process and then give it back to you and then merge in. Because what happens is like your code will inform your ethos will inform the code. And all of a sudden this new baby comes up of even deeper understanding of ourselves. It's emotional too. Now, what we're doing, we're actually writing songs for people based on their ethos. And then we take it and we really establish who they are in the song. Whether it's some people like a worship sort of style, some people like country, some people like sort of this EDM, and they're hearing themselves and what they believe, and they're working that stuff in there. It's emotional. And like, I'll give you an example. So, when people do Amplify, they tell their story on the final day.
Right.
And so
Which I
there's a tool. And so now they don't even know I'm doing this. I record and transcribe as they're talking. And I'm sitting off to the side, I'm just transcribing it. They don't know it. And as soon as they finish, they're getting feedback. I take that transcription, throw it into this custom AI that we built that writes these stories and these brand narratives. It writes the article, writes everything for them in that moment. And then I translate that into like almost sometimes even a PR release or something for their book, and then gets their bio. They're still on stage. It's written it for them. And then I take it and I have it write the song based on what they just did, throw it into the app that we have that creates music. Song is done. They come off stage, they're reading it, and they're like, and I play the song, and this guy was in the back. He was he a great guy, but he got one night bad choice. He was drinking, almost killed somebody. Found it like the car. He should have been dead. He's in the back listening to his song in just tears. But it's his legacy for his kids because all of his lessons, all of his things are running through that. And the thing that we decided as our company is there's only two things that make us unique. Teaching people how to speak is not unique. Having courses is not unique. We have two things. One, I have multi-sensory experiences. That's the one thing that we know that we do that nobody else does. And the second is using biofeedback. And so within that, of course, the rest of it's table stakes. But when you start incorporating multi-sensory experiences, that's what drives it deep into the soul.
So let's give anyone that's watching this podcast some ideas on how to start creating their ethos in their code. I would love for you to do that. Also, I want to make sure, by the way, are you still doing the Amplify events? I mean, I know you're
Oh yeah.
coaching a really, really high level, helping people build out their personal brands in a very
Yep.
deep way. Well, actually,
Yes,
tell me now,
absolutely.
what are you doing just so as we're unpacking this, I can, push them into those deeper courses.
Yeah. So yeah, a little over a year and a half ago, I've been asked to do brand work, and I'm very, very vocal on what I believe brand work is. It's not your logo. It's a part of it. It's not just doing social media. Doing social media without a clear brand is just more noise. You might be known. Fame is not brand. Brand is an underlying promise of who you are and a message to the world that says, when you work with me, you will do this. But more importantly, can you answer this question? We are the only X that does X. Like, I'm the only X that does this. I'm the only speaker coach that does this. I'm the only this that does this. And if you can distill that message down to there and triple down in that world, still with all the table stakes, all the things that need to happen as well, now all of a sudden it's there. So when I first started this process 8 years ago, I was working with a guy by the name of Chad, and he had a company called Marvel Citizen. And he had a process that minimum was $250,000 to work with him. Minimum. But taking Talenti ice cream. Have you ever heard of Talenti?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're the
Well, I've
only
heard
one
of
of
it
the
because of you.
it's the clear jar. And his process was we had to go find 100 competitors, which took months, by the way. I remember I did it. It took a month and a half. I'm like, I got 40. He goes, I need 60 more. And it's like, my God, what am I going to do with 100 competitors? And then we'd have to cross-reference all of their value propositions, their features and benefits, put them on a saturation chart, take a look at what everyone's doing, and then looking at this pyramid to say, okay, at the bottom of this pyramid, it's 3 sections, right? And the bottom is what everybody's doing, it's table stakes, and the middle is what the innovators are doing, and the top is only what you do. And we take leadership teams and put them through all that stuff, and they go, here's what only we do, here's what our innovator competitors are doing, and here's what everybody does. Then you'd have to cross-reference all of that, take weeks and analysts and everything to say, okay, well, what you thought was you is actually table stakes. There's about 45 other people doing that. It's not unique. And when you get an entire leadership team going, that's not what we do, and we have all the research to show it. You talk about change management, there's no convincing anymore. It's done. Now, that takes 6 months before. We do it in 20 minutes now.
Thank
20
you.
minutes. And so we have a 2-day process when we're doing the real brand work for businesses, where we take them through the leadership team. Day 1, we analyze all that stuff. Day 2, we build out their messaging. And then we realize here are the 3 things that actually make them unique. Doing those 2 banks right now, 2 mortgage companies that you would know. And they realize that, okay, so they got to build an AI bot for every single loan. That's one of the things that nobody's done. We're going to put an AI agent on every single loan. Okay, well, how are we going to build that? Oh, day 3, we build it. What do you mean we're going to build it in a day? Oh yeah, we're going to write your book. We're going to build it, and we're going to also incorporate it into your whole ops. It's going to be done on day 3. They're like, how are you going to do that on day 3? I said, well, it takes hundreds of hours to do that. Yeah, we're going to put 100 hours in the room. Your designers, your tech group, your head of marketing, your web people, everyone's coming to this meeting, and we're going to give them the modern tools to be able to build it. We've already written the content. Here's the website template. Here's all this stuff. It's already done. Go build it. Just go attach, go attach, go attach. And we build this stuff in 1 day. It is the most disruptive process I've ever been a part of. I've never been more passionate about it, because it's like, you want to move fast? Let's go. And what ends up happening is those people that are slow, those people that cannot collaborate, are exposed in that meeting. The people that have jobs that they're a little out of their seats, exposed. Those people that are territorial are exposed. Well, it takes 6 months. And we just say, no, actually it doesn't. We're doing it right now. And all of a sudden, if they're insecure about that job, they're exposed. So, but some people are exposed. They're going, you know what? This is a new way to do. Let's go. I'm going to learn. And now those are the people that we want to play, because those are people that move fast. They're using AI. AI is not replacing them. We need people that can innovate through that process. But from a leadership perspective, I mean, the speed in which we can move strategy and build product in a day, we're building product in a day. So when I talk about like I'm thinking like there's so much stuff that's happening, and then so much stuff that I haven't even seen yet. So yes, we still do the brand work. We're doing this sort of high-end build out process in 3 days. Still do amplifies. I'm still speaking. And writing 2 more books.
Writing 2 more books. Can you tell us the title or the
Yeah,
idea?
the one is the narrative gap, which we've been talking about before. That's been sort of the topic for the last year for me, and that gap in between things. And then the third one is actually with my partners in Italy, is Dr. Al Ringleb, who's the co-founder of the Neuro Leadership Institute, on conflict conversations. His passion and our passion, we've talked about when you talk about communications in businesses and driving change, that people don't understand the role that conflict plays and how to do that. And so we're now a year into the research on it. And I'm talking about deep, deep, deep research, pulling all the different pieces together. And we're in the process of just getting that process, that book. I mean, we've already got a lot of it written and the research done, but it's going to be very interesting. Not so much of more, let's see. I want to see how much of a mortgage book it is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm a big fan of the book The Challenger Sale. You and I have talked about it, and one of the cornerstones to the best salespeople are constructive tension. And
Yep.
how do they bring constructive tension to pretty much every conversation? I mean, that
Yeah.
is there is an art and a science, and I have a feeling that you're going to unpack a little bit of both art and science of conflict and tension.
Oh, I think it'll bode alongside all of those ideas when people can realize conflict is respectful conflict, and that's the key, is a beautiful thing for relationships. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, how many times have we had conflict, but it wasn't about Dave and Renee. It was about an idea. And we squeeze this idea, and all of a sudden what pops out is truth, or better,
Right.
a movement forward that both of us win. Even if I'm wrong, I'm winning because we got this gem that came out of this whole process. But we weren't afraid of conflict. But you look at people that don't like where they work. Well, in my 30 years of doing this, when it talks about from a culture perspective, forget brand and sales and thing. When we're talking about creating culture change, you define a culture is defined by people's ability to speak truth at where they work. Do they feel psychologically safe to say, I can say this difficult truth and I won't get fired? If I can say yes to that, I love where I work. If I can't, I'm waiting for the next opportunities where I can. And it literally is distilled down to that piece for me.
Love this. Well, I love this conversation. I'm looking forward to doing more of this, Renee. Let's close out with just a couple ideas for anyone listening to this on action steps. If there was a checklist, and you know the audience, it's mortgage professionals and it's leaders of mortgage professionals that want to hear the Rene Rodriguez. Like, here's, I don't know if it's 3 things, 5 things, but they could ask themselves this checklist and know whether they're on the right track. If your humanity matters, what is a modern local mortgage advisor?
It's a great question. You always have the best questions. You always make me think. So the first one is, do you have room for serendipity in your life? Let me explain that to you. And I just came up with this right now. So I'm going to unpack that. A good friend of mine talked to me about the value of Silicon Valley back in the day. There was so much serendipity. You could be in a coffee shop working and you need this tech, and all of a sudden the guy next to you is like, oh, you guys do that? Because there was so much knowledge and innovation packed into just little community. And we looked at that, and like in Minnesota, there wasn't much serendipity because people were just so separate. There wasn't much of that stuff. And is there room for serendipity? Meaning, if you're saying I use AI too, you've just ruined any chance of somebody saying I might know how to do that. Or, this is how I use that. And you don't realize that that's an application of AI that's so good. I mean, like our phones, we don't care about this. What we care about is those things, the applications. This is we don't care about. What can I do with it? AI is this. The innovation happens, and these are the cool things we can do with it. And you look at that technology adoption life cycle, we cross that chasm where you get past the early majority, the 13%, into the early adopter into the early majority. The early majority is only going to do things that are applicable. What am I going to do with this thing? The early adopter is visionary. They can go, I see how I can apply that. But that's only 13%. Innovators are just want to be first. They got the money. I'll pay, there's a new $25,000 OLED right now. I'm like, oh wow. Looks
Well,
like you could jump at the screen.
before
But
you go to number two, I wanna one unpack that. When you first said it, I was just like, where's Rene going with this? And then as I started thinking about it, like we are in an era, in a time where you need to have time to grow. Like when you
yes,
said serendipity, grow. And I will just tell you, yesterday I interviewed the number one, I think he's number one of the top couple loan officers in the state of Michigan, in Detroit,
cool.
where Rockets headquarters, where UWM is headquartered. He's going to do
Big
$200
deal.
million in volume this year. And
How much?
200 million this year, right now. He did 190 million last year. And I asked him, what are the three most important things that you do that only you can do? And he talked about building the relationships with realtors and making it rain. He talked about having the high trust mortgage coach conversation. Like this guy is actually creating a total cost analysis and having that conversation. Those were two things. And then he picked number three. It's knowing where the puck is going. And by the way,
Mhm.
the headline for the presentation, I changed it up, but he wanted it to be what was it? Using AI to build trust. And he shared like these 5 ways that he's using AI to build trust. But he's like,
Cool.
one of only three things I could do. And guys, this has got to be one of the potentially busiest, most successful loan officers in America right now. And he pretty much said one of the top three things I do is what Rene just said is number one. So, anyways, love that, brother.
What if I were to say, oh, I use AI to build trust too, Dave? It just, the whole conversation dies. Of
Right.
course I'm using it, but I'm so curious into what he's doing to build trust because I guarantee you I don't have any clue on how he's doing it, but I know I can learn something. That's that piece is that you got to leave room for what Dave just said. Even if you think you're doing what Dave's saying, what I'm saying, ask yourself, what else? Well, shit, how else are they doing that? That to me, if you do that, you will invite so much new thinking into your life. You will actually, the people that have the solutions will want to share with you. Because I guarantee you, the moment someone says, I use AI too, I clam up. I could have given you solutions that people pay me a lot of money for. Like, why? You're already doing it. And I don't have the energy. Honestly, I don't have the energy to go past this kind of thinking. And but if you open that up, so much will come to you. So much will come to you. Um, God, I think there's so much. I mean,
So,
you want what was it? It was around for loan officers. Oh, what Dave
what's
was
another?
saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
what Dave was saying easily, which is you have to document who you are. And we run a process where we build it out. If you want help with it, reach out to us. But you can create your own version of this, of saying, help me understand my ethos and go through the interview. Go through the interview process, answer the questions, and then ask it to write up what it is. Who am I? Help me understand who I am. Go through that interview process, write it up, take that into a Word document, pull it out of AI, start a project into the product knowledge, the knowledge base, upload it in there. Now that is pulling from that. Put your bio in there, any article you write, things that you're proud of. If you did a talk, transcribe it, put it in there. If you something that you believe in, transcribe, put it in there. If you've got a family history, put it in there. Things that you believe, put it all in there, and then work AI from that arena. You will get a much richer result, a much richer result. The third I'm going to give you, and I'm going to put it in the chat here. This tool is the best point solution I have ever used. And I want you to use this link because I get credit if you use it. Like I think I get like
I'm
50
looking on it
cents.
right now. I'm multitasking.
It's called Whisper Flow. Okay, so now here's what this does. Remember like Tony Stark in
Oh,
when
I
he's
have
like talking to Jarvis?
I have this. I think
Okay,
he
you need
might
to
be
use
the
it.
one that referred me to this, and I use this all the time now.
It's all the time. So what it allows is that you choose a key, it's usually the function key, to start dictating, but it doesn't capture, it captures verbatim what you're saying, but it fixes the ums and the ahs and the punctuations. but you don't have to click around to say, where's the dictate to here? And then you're kind of dictating. It's not, this is literally, I have a thought, boom. And when you work AI this way, I'm not sure I like how this is written. Can you do it this way, please? Click enter. Okay, we're getting close. Da, 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 I see what thing, but the feeling that I have is that it's this, and I just talk to it like it's a human, and I let go. And then all of a sudden I'm doing this, and I go. But the fact that I have dictate at this speed gives you such an advantage to just be able to free think and not having to type, because the future is voice to text on all of this stuff. It's just voice commands. And this by far, the best tool. I promise you, everyone's like, okay, I'll try it out. Within a day, they're like, Rene, I don't know how I live without it. I don't know how I live without it. So I would use WhisperFlow for sure for everything that you do.
So guys, you got to have room to learn. You've got to document your code. You need to document your ethos. And then you got to be able to talk to AI. And by the way, I think you are the one that introduced me to WhisperFlow, and I use it on my mobile phone daily. It's definitely a speed hack and a quality hack. I did not use it on my laptop until now.
Oh, it's so much better on the laptop. It's slow on the, wait till you start going like this and you talk and it just does. It's the coolest thing, man. It is like, people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, and if I don't have it, I'm just like, I gotta type this. I can just think. I write emails that way. I'm responding to texts on my phone, just everything. And I'm just going through and just, this is how I'm talking. Boom, 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 boom. 2 buttons. Here, send. Here, send. Talk, send. Talk, send.
I'm fired up, brother. I am fired up. So what are the best places to follow you now? I mean, I know you're on LinkedIn now, and you've got to be one of the top followers, top people in the mortgage space and beyond the mortgage space. But what are the best places to follow you right now?
Just to give you an update, we're at 1.1 million on TikTok. We're at 391,000 on Instagram. I don't know how we put like 15,000 last 4 days. We're getting almost 2 to 7 million impressions on LinkedIn every 7 days. And like you made me do YouTube, and now we're at almost 80,000 subscribers. That's you. You and Kelly sat me down and by the way, all of what I'm doing right now is your fault. It's in my video. All of it. It comes down to that one conversation in text that you said. I go, Dave, I'm not good at marketing. And you literally said, dude, stop saying you're not good and get good. Become a Jedi. And I remember being so upset with you because I wanted to boo-hoo. No, Rene, you're not good. I'll do it for you, Rene. And you're just like, dude, shut up and stop saying that. And I got so angry. I'm like, all right, MFR. I'm like, I got to figure this out. And that was 10 years ago. I put a post on Facebook saying, hey, I'm trying to grow my social media. Would you mind following me? I think I had like 800 followers. And so remember this, it all comes with time. Do follow me, learn with Rene, send me a message, whatever it is. But I'm gonna be sharing a lot of these things in terms of how we do this. I didn't share it before because I don't believe in sharing things unless I personally don't like things, unless I'm 2 to 3 years into understanding it. And so I'm about 3.5 years into it. And what we're writing, there's a GPT that we created that writes all my posts for me. And in terms of, I iterate with it, obviously, but it takes the structure. My content, I give it the content, but it gives me the structure for it. And we're getting hundreds of thousands of views using that structure. I'm taking people that get 40, 80 views into the thousands, which is a big thing. It's a really, really big thing. People are like, well, I want millions. I said, well, give it 10 years. I mean, it takes a while. Just to get in the game now, though.
So I love this. And then what is the place if someone wants to sign up for Amplify? They want to reach out to you as a coach, help you build their brand. What are the best ways?
Yeah, go to meetrene.com, meet.com, meetrene.com. And we have our 30-day influence mastery program. So those that can't afford the 6,000, you can do basically Amplify in a 30-day, 4 to 8 minute process that is so freaking cool. Masterclass quality. When I say master, I'm talking about masterclass.com quality. It took me 6 months to write it, 35 hours in the studio. And what we're actually having people do is do cohorts, people that groups, branches, even companies going through this together. In fact, I would love to get a group of mortgage coaches all focused on influence for 30 days. I will help get some of the other mortgage coach leaders and we all go through this together as a cohort. It's when you focus for 30 days on something, you will master it.
So guys, go check it out. I am super intrigued about the going through it as a mortgage coach community. Renee and I will talk offline on that, maybe plan something. We'll have Renee back on our either our Tuesday 10X interview or Friday masterclass. So keep an eye out for Renee and I coming back at you. If all the links that were mentioned today, there'll be one link down below. Thank you, Scott Nicholson, for the one link, housing.link. And within that link, we'll put that link to sign up for WhisperFlow. Make sure you use Renee's link for that. How
You
to,
don't have to. You can, but you don't have to.
yeah, hey,
Use
let's
it
make
for
sure
sure.
you get credit for it, brother. Make sure you follow Renee on all the social media that you use because it's truly valuable. Like, make sure you check out his book. If you have not already purchased his book, read his book, it's a must, just absolute must. So,
Do you
brother,
know, did I tell you how many videos we're doing per day now?
no, tell me
40.
what? Explain that to me.
Content manufacturing system, man. There's a way. I tell you, I didn't share this stuff until I figured it out. 40 videos a day. You got to have a process. It is a department. But you don't have to do 40. If you use the same process, you can do one a day much easier than you ever could. But 40 videos a day across all platforms.
Wow. I've got
Yeah.
to learn what the Jedi Master has put together. So
Dude, you're Yoda. I'm like your Padawan, brother. You know that.
I don't know about that, man. Well, I hope you guys
Well,
got value from this. If you have not subscribed to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, guys, wherever it's at, up below, hit the subscribe button, follow Renee. Hope you got value today. This is a wrap. Take care, everybody.
thank you guys.